Hey guys, welcome to the Fandom Fusion podcast. We're in a very, very different situation, a different background today. I recently got my first car, so I decided that I was going to do an episode in the car for a bit of fun so we can sit down whilst we're doing the podcast. Um, as you can see, we have a guest that's been here before. If you want to introduce yourself at all.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lauren's mum.
Cheers. We look very alike and it's really creeping me out right now.
We don't really, we're just wearing glasses.
And we have similar hair lengths.
Okay. Right.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about our favourite musicals and asking each other questions about it. I know I've spoken a lot about musicals on this channel, but it's just something that I really enjoy and have a lot of information about. So I want to get out as many videos as I can on that before like properly moving on to something else. And I wanted you to be back. I wanted you to make a return because, fun fact, that video is the longest video I've ever done.
Is it?
With you in it.
Have we had the most watches on it, views?
No, we haven't. That was the first episode.
I didn't think we would have some.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you want to ask me the questions first?
Yeah, I will do. So,
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Just to clarify, what's your favourite musical?
my favourite musical is Dear Evan Hansen.
And I'm going to be talking about the Guiding Light musicals. I don't feel like I have a specific favourite, but I wanted to go in that one. So yeah, sorry, I do apologise for interrupting.
Right, I was going to introduce the fact that you liked, excuse me, the guy who didn't like musicals.
You don't, do you?
No, I'm not a fan at all.
Yeah, I want to clarify. I did recommend it to my mum. Just not your cup of tea, is it?
Absolutely not.
No. But anyway, that's fine.
That's actually one of the lines from Dear Evan. Which was
What?
very clever of me, that. Absolutely not.
Is it?
Yeah, we can move on to that later.
I don't know a lot about it, so that's why we're asking each other questions, just to learn a little bit more about it.
Right, okay then.
Go ahead.
Your guy who doesn't like musicals,
Mm.
what's the main plot then?
So overall, it's basically pretty much zombie apocalypse that happens over a town called Hatchetfield.
Sounds cheerful.
Yeah, but it's not actually a zombie apocalypse. It's like a musical apocalypse. That's the only way you can describe it. And I try and keep this as short as possible. But we get
Change.
thanks for that. We get introduced to a character called Paul, and he's the main character. And it's sort of established right from the start that he doesn't like musicals. He's the guy who doesn't like musicals. Spoiler alert. And this like musical curse goes over the town that he's lived in, and he's basically just trying to survive. We're introduced to loads of different characters throughout, and slowly but surely they all get like infected. Spoiler
Infected
alert:
with what?
the like musical curse.
Oh, I see. So they all start singing and he doesn't.
Yes. Spoiler alert: everybody except a character called Emma gets infected. Paul gets infected as well, and everyone else does. And yeah, I won't go too much further into that because
So
it
if he
links
gets
onto other questions.
infected, how
Yeah.
come we still don't like musicals?
What do you mean? No, he gets infected right at the end.
Oh, right.
But up until that point, he still doesn't like musicals.
But when he gets infected, then he likes them, doesn't
He's forced to. He
he?
has to sing.
Okay.
That's a curse.
Thank you for that. So, how did you hear about the musical?
I heard about the musical through Caitlin. She tagged me in a TikTok, and I didn't really know what it was. She was like, "Have you ever seen this?"
Caitlin's been on your podcast before.
She has. She has indeed. Yeah, she's tagged me in a TikTok, and it was like, "Have you ever seen this?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And I watched it that same day in the living room.
Yeah.
And then from that point onward, I basically
Is it as long as Hamilton?
no, it's not as long as Hamilton. Hamilton's only 3 hours, isn't it?
What do you mean only?
Nearly, I said.
Oh, I thought you said only. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, but I just watched it straight away because I felt like I was gonna like it. If it was a musical, I'll give it a watch. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. Like I'll at least try.
But you let me watch it, and I really didn't like it.
Yeah, it just depends, really. I
I think it's personal taste, isn't it?
100%, yeah, it is, and it's a big jump from Hamilton, considering that was like before that the only musical he'd really been introduced to. that like difference between the Guy Didn't Like Musicals and Hamilton is crazy.
Yeah, they
Because
are.
one's a comedy
Yeah, they are
and
very
one's
different,
more
aren't they?
like history events and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
true. All right, that's really good. So I guess one of the most popular questions on this
Mm.
one will be, what's your favourite song from the cast recording?
That's a difficult question because all the songs are equally as good. Because obviously it's a musical about people being infected by this singing curse,
Yeah,
and so there's so many songs in it that I feel like I couldn't pick. But if I had to,
yeah.
it would be the last song called Inevitable, and that's at the point where Paul's singing to Emma, and then all the infected people, all the characters that we'd learnt beforehand, all come in singing and are trying to infect Emma. And right at the end, they take her off stage, and she's infected.
So hence it's inevitable that she was going to
Mhm.
get infected.
Exactly, and that one's just—it's so good. Just the lyrics, the fact that everyone's involved, the choreography, it's great.
I might
Hmm.
give it another watch, maybe.
I think if you stuck with it, I think you would enjoy it.
Cool.
You got to get into the story.
So, time for another question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who's your favourite character from the musical
Hmm.
and why?
My favorite character is Paul.
So, he's the
Um,
main character, isn't
Pretty much. Although to be fair, each character, I'd say Paul and Emma are the main ones.
he? Right.
But I'm just gonna say Paul because he's played by one of my favourite theatre actors, and it was his introduction to Star Kid. It was his first official musical with Star Kid,
Mm.
and he did such a good job. And like the entire time, he couldn't be on vocal rest because obviously he wasn't like infected throughout the whole thing, so he didn't sing
Yeah.
at all.
So, does he talk while they're singing,
He
sort
does.
of
He
thing?
almost reacts for the majority of the musical. What I'm saying is like he had to talk, so he
Mm.
couldn't be on like vocal rest for the last two songs, which is when he sings. So, and some of the notes that he was hitting in that are so high. They're really good.
Mm.
So just overall, he's definitely my favorite from that musical.
So, if you could play one of the characters, who would it be? And why?
I'm gonna have to go with Emma. I think. Well, she doesn't sing the entire time, which is obviously going to be helpful for me because I can't sing. But
Doesn't she even sing at the end?
she sings a part of the first song,
Right.
but no, she's never.
But she doesn't sing at the end when it's inevitable that she's going to sing.
No, she's being sang to, and she's trying to escape
Oh,
the
I see.
the
Okay.
infection.
Mm-hmm.
I just think she's a funny character, and she makes appearances so many more times in the Hatchetfield series within Star Kid, and I think yeah, I'd play her because there's so many more opportunities for her character, and she appeared so many times afterwards.
Cool.
Mhm.
So then, I suppose to round it all up,
Mhm.
told us a lot about it, which
I
has been really,
have.
really interesting. But why
Thanks.
do you like the musical?
I like it because, in a way, it's sort of like an escape from reality when you watch it
Mm.
because you're an audience member and obviously there's no like threat of being infected with this musical curse, but it's enjoyable to watch, like especially on like YouTube and stuff like that, because however many times you watch it, you notice little things each time.
Different things.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I enjoy like the Star Kid musicals because they do post them on YouTube, so you can watch them like as many times as you want for free, and I think that's great. And yeah, just overall, it's just a really good musical, and it was the first ever one that I watched from Star Kid, and it just introduced me to that whole thing, and I am grateful for that musical for that reason.
That's a really good answer. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. We've learnt a lot there about the man who didn't like
The
musicals.
guy, close enough, close enough.
Guy's American. Man.
Do you want to move on to your questions, or have you got any?
No, I
Anything
think
else?
what you said, I might persevere and have
Mm,
another watch of it. I
I
think that would be
think
good.
that one you would enjoy, whereas the other one you weren't a big fan of. MPMD, that's for sure. That's what it's called. You didn't like that one, did you? That's what it's called. Yeah, but like short. That's what it's called.
Right.
Um, Just clarifying, I will be asking the same questions to my mum.
You probably won't get quite as good an answer,
Thank you, I appreciate
but
it.
I'll try my best.
What's the main plot of Dear Evan Hansen in a summary?
Well, in a summary, and you laughed at me before, but it was one word,
Yeah.
which is bullying.
Mm.
And I think that pretty much sums it up. It's about a young boy who didn't have a regular relationship with his parents,
Yeah.
and then he sort of wanted to be friends with this boy, or the boy's sister, because he quite like, he fancied her, I think,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And then sort of tried to get in with the family and be a bit more popular and a bit more sort of loved. And it works, but there's a bit of a sad bit as well in it. So
Mm.
I think that would summarise it. But you've
Mm.
watched it. I mean, you can chip in if you want.
I mean, we've watched the movie version, the movie adaptation,
Yeah,
but we are going to try and watch the actual musical version
definitely.
next year when it comes like
Yes.
to near us, because there's a big difference between that. I think a lot of people aren't a fan of the movie because it's cut a lot of songs. I
How was
mean,
it?
you know that because
Well,
you know
I really liked the
you
movie. I
listen to
thought
the
it was good.
actual, you listen to the cast recording,
Yes.
don't you?
Yeah.
It cut a lot of songs and some casting choices people weren't a fan of, but I am excited to actually be able to watch that properly.
Hmm.
Um, why do you like the musical? I know you've sort of touched on that, but just in general, why do you like
I like the musical because there's a really good story to it.
it? Mm.
And if you listen, obviously, to what they're singing, not necessarily what they're acting out, but if you listen to the songs,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things in there that I think everyday people can relate to.
100%. Yeah.
The songs, some of them are really jolly, some of
Mm.
them are quite sort of sad, but overall, it's just. I think at the end of it, it's quite a feel good thing as well.
It's very varied with the soundtrack. I
Yeah,
feel like.
yeah. There's a few ups and downs, and there's a bit of like romance in there, but then there's the
Yeah.
sad bit. Spoiler, that the brother dies,
Mm.
and then like it's like the stepdad,
Yeah.
and he really tried to sort of help with the boy that died.
Mm.
But then like Evan Hansen really liked him because he wished his dad was like him,
Yeah.
and there's lots of like sort of stories that go around in a circle.
Yeah. Mm. That was a very
Personally,
very good answer.
thank you very much.
Um, if you could play one of the characters, who would you?
That's a really good question. I think I might want to be one of the mums.
Yeah.
Like Evan Hansen's mum, she really struggles with him to try and get him to cheer up and
Yeah.
look at each day differently and that.
Mm.
But then I can't remember the other boy's name. Anyway, his mum, she struggles with him, Connor
That's it.
Murphy.
That's it. It
Um,
was coming to me slowly.
she she struggles with him, even
Yeah.
though it's only for a short time.
Yeah.
Um, and I think being a mum myself, I can not that I can relate to that because my children are lovely, but I
Thanks.
can understand like the idea of like trying to get them ready to go to school and to
Yeah.
do things the right way and
Mm.
stuff. Yeah, and I think I might be one of the mums. But to be fair, all the characters are quite good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one particularly I would pick out really.
That's what I thought of the guide in like musicals
Yeah.
because they're also unique and bring like different things to the
Mm.
story that it's difficult
Yeah.
to choose. Similar question, but who's your favorite character from the musical and why?
I think my favourite character has to be Owen Hampson really
Right.
because of everything that he goes through and then how just by sort of almost like trying to step into Connor's shoes and pretend to be him.
He almost tries to replace him, doesn't
He
he?
does, yeah, but he sort of learns a lot of things about himself and he realizes that there are a lot of things he didn't think he could do that he can do.
Yeah.
But he's I don't know, he's just I know it's all about him if you like because obviously that's the title of it, but I think he's the best character because obviously he's like the main thread through the story as well.
Yeah, and he links the two families, and he's quite
Yes,
complex. I feel like he's a complex character.
he is. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with his actions, but you
no, I
know,
don't necessarily agree with them, but
it's part of the plot. So
makes good musical.
Yes, that is true. Um, what's your favourite song from the cast recording? So not, it could be in the movie, but mainly from the cast recording because I know you listened to that. If you can't remember the name, just describe it. I don't mind.
Um,
I'll put the name on the video.
quite like Requiem actually.
I like that one.
That that's quite powerful. So that's Connor's sister singing about like him being um everybody thought he was absolutely amazing and in reality he wasn't, and she's basically saying like I'm not really that upset about you
Mm.
because you're a
They
bit
didn't
of
really have a
a
connection, did they? Like
no
siblings.
no, you were a bit of a well, he's a naughty boy with drugs and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And like even his mum and his stepdad, the song is actually really quite sad because he was quite a troubled soul, I would suggest.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of element of him missing him, but not as much as you would expect because of what
Mm.
he was like.
Because of his personality.
Mm.
That's a good choice, though. Some good vocals in that song. I do enjoy that one.
It's quite a beautiful song, that there.
Mm.
I mean, there are a lot of good sort of feel good ones, and there's one of them makes me giggle, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's got some rude words in it.
Okay, last question. How did you hear about the musical?
I heard about the musical through my very beautiful daughter
Oh,
that's sat
thank
next to
you.
me.
Thank you.
This is the second musical that Lauren's got me into, and
Yes.
I'm really liking it. I don't know whether I can
Good.
do any spoilers, but
No,
maybe
it's fine. I spoiled the guy. I don't like
no, I
musicals.
don't mean that. What I was saying about musicals, maybe another day we might actually talk about Six or something because we're hoping to
Yeah,
go see that.
in London.
But there are a lot of musicals I've never really thought about, and Lauren's introduced me to some really
Mm.
good ones. Even
And
to the point where I'll try the guy who doesn't like musicals again.
there are a few Star Kid like projects I think you would enjoy. I think you could quite like their new one called A Cinderella Story,
Right.
which is very, very good. It's basically about like a rethought version of Cinderella. It's got puppets and stuff in it. It
Right.
looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we could get into that. I don't know.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Have you got any concluding comments at all?
It's just nice to be able to discuss something that we both enjoy, and I hope that other people can relate to some of our answers.
Hmm. Will you be making an appearance in the future on the
If
podcast?
I'm lucky enough to be asked back for a
Of
third
course.
time, I might do.
Of course, because the past few have been just me. It's quite sad when it's just me.
Well, I'm happy to do it. I'm not quite sure I'll do it in the car again, but
You don't like it?
well, it's different. Yeah,
It's quite nice.
it's very nice.
Well, if you got no more concluding comments, I'll just end the episode.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the episode as well. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate your company. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. It's quite a lengthy one, but definitely worth the listen. So if you're still here, then thank you very, very much. And as always, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.